and he gave you just 3 points here on Sunday. Falcons and the Commanders facing off with wild card implications in the NFC. Washington entering as your current 8 seed, 5-1 since week 6. Falcons just behind them, a game back as the 9 seed. Also in the mix in that division, the NFC South is whoever wants it. Brian Robinson wanted it. Late first quarter, Robinson Jr., truck stick, get off the tracks when the train's coming. Commanders up 7-3. As Robinson collects his first career 100-yard rushing game. As for the game, Marcus Mariota in the mid-second quarter rolls out and throws back across the field. Little design to Michael Pruitt makes it 10-7 Birds, capped off an 11-play, 77-yard drive. But Taylor Heineke time. Late third quarter, Heineke finds John Bates. No vacancy. Commanders up 16-10 after a missed extra point. Would that PAT come back to bite them? After trading field goals, Falcons down by 6 with under 4 to play. First and 10 from their own 30. Mariota goes down, gets back up, finds Olamide Zaccheaus. He takes it all the way down to the Commander 26, 44-yard gain as Mariota performs the escaping act there. Later in the drive, just over a minute to play. Mariota's pass tipped, picked. Daron Payne bringing a different type of pain as Kendall Fuller comes away with the pick. Fuller's second straight game with an interception, but after the Falcons defense forced a timely 3-and-out, Washington punting it away. We've seen games end like this in recent memory, 44 seconds to play. But hold on, we got laundry, and it's costly. Running into the kicker. Mind the spikes. 5-yard penalty, fresh set of downs, ball game. Commanders get their third straight win, improve to 6-1 since week 6, which is the best mark in that span in the entire NFL. Taylor Heineke now 5-1 as a starting quarterback this season. 19-13 is your final. Washington covers the 3.5. Pete Prisco gave it out earlier on Sportsline. You watch, you wager, you win. All right, we seem to be in this era of comparing quarterbacks as teams look down their depth charts either.
Y'all put that left hand up. That's what I'm talking about right there. You got to love this, Jack. You got to love it.
And we're not in the rain, which is great. They put us under cover, so the fans are behind us. It's like college game day here.
It feels good.
It feels really good. We are brought to you by Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Pay nothing until 2025. Visit windownation.com. All right, a lot to get to.
Yeah.
This game was a lot of ups and downs for the Commanders, but in the end, another win. The defense, Kendall Fuller with the play of the game as Daron Payne tips it up and he makes the play in the end zone.
Nothing about this shocks me. Like I said when I was watching the game earlier, I saw the rain dropping down. I said, them Sean Taylor teardrops blessing this field right there. And we end up winning the game because a big guy named Payne make a play. And we know Sean used to bring the pain. And a deep guy bringing the tackle, bringing the pick, same thing.
Yeah, I mean, the Commanders and the Falcons both were not trying to fool each other. They both wanted to run the ball down each other's throats.
Yeah, no secrets.
And for the first part of the game, the Falcons did the better job of it.
Yeah.
And then the second half, the Commanders obviously flipped the script. Brian Robinson led the way today, his first career 100-yard day. What a day it was for him as he ends up going over 105 yards.
I was very shocked. I wasn't shocked that Mariota came out running the ball because that's all he can do because he can't throw. He got kangaroo on. Now, at the thing of the day, but they did get it. You got to realize this team had 100 yards rushing at halftime, 100-yard passing at halftime, and the score was still tight. I say this plays into our game. Give us a chance to make the big play. We made the big play, but I was nervous, Jack. I was nervous in that red zone. I was nervous with 30 minutes ago. I was nervous with 1 minute to go, and they was on the goal line. The guys made the play, and what can I say? Fuller makes the play again.
Fuller, 2 big plays in 2 weeks, no doubt about it. We'll take phone calls in a bit. We'll get into the locker room. Julie in London headed down there right now. 800-493-1003 if you're listening to us on Big 100 or wherever you may be around the Washington Commanders Radio Network or on the YouTube channel, watching us on the Command Center post-game live on YouTube. You can see the crowd behind us. We got somebody with a heavyweight belt behind us.
Yes, we got the heavyweight belt. Hold that heavyweight belt up.
Let's see the heavyweight belt.
Hey, hold that heavyweight belt up.
Is that a wrestling belt or a boxing belt? Which belt is it? Is it WBC, WBA? I don't know. Is it IBF? I'm not sure.
We brought that belt because of Ridgeway, a.k.a. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's who we brought that one for. We brought that for him right now. But listen, I haven't seen these fans this alive in a long time. You can feel it in the city. I can feel it when I walk down the street. I can feel it in the stadium. I felt so good when I seen the Falcons fans walking out of here and the Washington fans hagging them. That's telling me the passion is back, the fire is back, Washington football is back.
Have you had a chance to send a message to any Falcons fans that you may know in your life?
Yes, I did.
Have you sent any messages?
Hey, by the way, I want to thank the football team. I got to text my ex-wife. 28-3. That's what I got to text. Ha, we done it again, and they didn't let you down again. Hey, it was great for me. Hey, I started this day in tears, and I ended this day in tears. So it worked for me.
19-13 the final for the Commanders to get the win today. And again, the conditions were one thing. I think the field held up great, by the way.
It did. It
held up really well.
You know, when I knew the field was holding up great, I saw Falcons hitting the ground, but their uniforms were still white.
Right.
You saw no paint coming out of the ground. I saw no guys. You know, for it to be as wet as it wasn't a lot of slippery. Wasn't a lot of drop balls, a couple of drop balls, but I thought the quarterbacks threw the bad balls more than the guys dropped them.
Somebody has a birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real. Birds aren't real. I'm with that right there. I'm with that.
Sign. And that's the most creative sign of the day for sure.
Right there, left hand up. How good does this win feel? Also, given that this is against your hometown, you're from Atlanta.
Yeah, it was great team effort again. You know, defense pulled up clutch there at the end. Kendall making another great play. You know, B-Rob running the hell of the rock in the second half. A lot of guys showed up in the second half there, so it was a great team win.
You mentioned the second half and guys showing up. What was the message at halftime for the coaches to you guys about what you guys want to do offensively?
Biggest thing we were doing on offense, we're just killing ourselves. You know, I threw that interception right before half, and we could have got 3 points there. I missed Terry in the end zone there for a touchdown. That's another 4 points. So we really felt like we left some points out there in the first half, and then we just came back in here and said, let's take a deep breath, let's do what we do, run the ball well, and take the open completion. And you know, I think we did that in the second half.
The first half, only 44 rushing yards, but the second half, it seemed like you guys kind of got back to understanding that is one of the main reasons the game has been able to move. What was it different in the run game from the first half to second half?
I think we just ran the ball more. You see, we had some different personnel groups that we put in the second half, and you saw, you know, B-Rob start gashing those guys. And, you know, again, when you have a big running back like that and you keep doing that all game, it takes a toll on the defense there at the end. So, again, it was the offensive line continues to, you know, beat those guys up. So, just as good as B-Rob ran the ball, offensive line needs credits just as much.
And you mentioned being able to run the football efficiently in the second half, but what it also does is opens up the play-action pass. And on that touchdown of John Bates, it was off the play-action. What did you see from the Falcons defense on that play?
I think that was the only pass that we had that drive. I think it was a 9-play drive. So, you know, we were stuffing it down their throat all game, or all that whole drive. And, you know, we put the play action there, and they all came in. And Bates kind of sneaked behind him, and he was wide open. So it's good for Bates. He's one of those guys. He's one of our run blockers, and he puts his nose in there. So for him to get a touchdown, that's huge for him, and I'm proud of him.
Bates gets a touchdown. Brian Robinson Jr. gets his first receiving touchdown. We see you passing that ball around, handing the ball off. It's a good problem to have. What is it for you like in the huddle, understanding there are so many different playmakers and who to go to win? Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. Again, you look around the huddle, the offensive line that we have, the tight ends we got, and the weapons we have at the, you know, skill positions. It's a lot of fun to be a quarterback in this offense. You know, I believe a lot of quarterbacks would want to be in this offense. So again, you know, for me, I just got to keep getting better, keep getting the ball in those guys' hands, and see if we can keep winning games.
You know, coming in this ball game with the rain being so much of an issue, we were concerned about the passing game. But to start the ball game, you were able to make a lot of nice throws. You made a beautiful throw to De'Ami Brown where he made the diving catch. Were the conditions, did they bother you a little bit as the rain kind of continued in that ball game?
During the game, it wasn't bad. Pre-game, it was pretty. Yeah, it was great team effort again. You know, defense pulled up clutch there at the end. Kendall making another great play. You know, B-Rob running the hell of the rock in the second half. A lot of guys showed up in the second half there, so it was a great team win.
You mentioned the second half and guys showing up. What was the message at halftime for the coaches to you guys about what you guys want to do offensively?
Biggest thing we were doing on offense, we're just killing ourselves. You know, I threw that interception right before half, and we could have got 3 points there. I missed Terry in the end zone there for a touchdown. That's another 4 points. So we really felt like we left some points out there in the first half. And then we just came back in here and said, let's take a deep breath, let's do what we do, run the ball well, and take the open completion. And I think we did that in the second half.
The first half, only 44 rushing yards, but the second half, it seemed like you guys kind of got back to understanding that is one of the main reasons the game has been able to move. What was it different in the run game from the first half to second half?
I think we just ran the ball more. We had some different personnel groups that we put in the second half, and you saw, B-Rob start gashing those guys. And, again, when you have a big running back like that and you keep doing that all game, it takes a toll on the defense there at the end. So, again, it was the offensive line continues to, beat those guys up. So, just as good as B-Rob ran the ball, offensive line needs credit just as much.
And you mentioned being able to run the football efficiently in the second half, but what it also does is opens up the play action pass